Jello, I'm really impressed. I'm sorry, so my voice is gonna shake a bit. But I went to I went to your gig in Paris last year.
The glass is back there.
Thank you.
All right, now you can see again.
Yeah. Hey, here you are. So I went in your gig in Paris in 2009, and you're still doing a lot of spoken word. And
The gig?
yeah, and you told us about Obama's politics. How do you feel 1 year after that?
I think it's more disappointing and more heartbreaking in a way. It's not all Obama's fault. A lot of it is the fault of the American people and even to a small degree the French people for not putting enough pressure on him. I mean, the reason we got so much done when Franklin Roosevelt was president during the Depression in the 1930s, yes, times were even worse, but also Americans were a lot more like French people at that time, where people protested more, and when they were mad, they did something about it besides watch TV and get mad or update their Facebook page all night or write a blog and only other people who agree with them will read it. I mean, we need a little more than that, some non-violent action in the streets. I mean, there were people camped out in front of the Capitol building then. There were almost 2 million people joining the Communist Party, who of course were punished after the war by Joe McCarthy and Richard Nixon in the Red Scare in the 50s. But basically, the way my father, who grew up in the Depression, sees it is that Roosevelt saw far enough ahead and got scared, even though he was a very rich man and born rich. Is like, shit, we better do something for everybody or we're all going down and there may be a revolution. There is no threat of revolution now in America except maybe on the other side. We now have our own national front, and they call themselves the Tea Party. And they aren't really a real party. They're mainly like an extreme wing of the Republican Party, funded by corporations and old rich families to think it's a grassroots movement. And one of the top things on their agenda is how much they hate immigrants. And they usually know enough not to say that what really freaks us out is that a black man is president. But the Tea Party got all this coverage in the corporate media, who of course is owned by some of the same right-wing rich families and corporations. The Tea Party had no members. And yet it was all over CNN, all over Fox News, the cousin of Sky TV and CBS and NBC and the others, even though other people, like people who wanted a good health care system or something like that, got no press. But then when Obama was sort of kind of halfway do the right thing with the healthcare system, the Tea Party is all over the news protesting, get the government out of my Medicare, not knowing that Medicare is a government program. And taxes are bad. The Tea Party hates taxes almost as much as they hate Mexicans. And some of them bring their guns to rallies too. So this is kind of a scary thing. Something that the Le Pens would understand very well. I mean, instead of Le Pen, we have Sarah Palin, who is a much more powerful figure. She's kind of a joke to most people now, but so was Ronald Reagan when he started running for president. And she is so good on TV that I fear sometime in the next 30 years, we're going to have somebody that crazy who believes it's almost the end of the world and she's there to help. Really scary stuff.
Yeah, and what do you think about the midterm election? Because it's going to be soon. Do you think?
How much of an election it even is at this point, because all the propaganda is Obama's going down and it's going to be just like Clinton after 2 years with an extreme right-wing Tea Party Congress just destroying everything he tries to do. Of course, he could bring back that silver tongue of his and try and rally the people, but it's almost stunning how little of that he does now.
Yeah, you don't think that
he did not get accomplished. I'm not sure he even really intended to. If you look at what he was really saying or how he really voted in the Senate, he wanted to be in Afghanistan. He did not want a proper government health care system. And the bankers, who of course made off like bandits after the economy collapsed, they were giving their money to Obama before the 2008 election. They were not giving their money to Hillary Clinton or John McCain. They were giving it to him early. And one Washington inside journalist I know, she told me, oh yeah, Obama, after his big speech in 2004 at the conventions, he was knocking on every door of the bankers lobby in Washington saying, I'm your guy. So I don't know. The more things change, the more they stay the same. But people are hurting and they're mad, and the only official outlet they have is provided by professional bigots who can get on TV when other people can't.
So do you plan to do something for those elections, like gigs or spoken words?
Most of the gigs scheduled are in other places, Canada, South America. Oh boy, maybe if the election is really bad, I'll just stay in South America.
Ah, why not?
Home is where the disease is.
Yeah, true.
So I'm sure there will be some other statements, although I'm not planning any spoken word tours yet. I wanted to concentrate on the band and see a little more where the dust settles with Obama, but I have lots of material now.
My next question is pretty general, but I wanted to know your point of view on the alternatives scene in United States. Actually, is it, on your point of view, really interesting, or is it dying?
I can't give a point of view on the alternative scene or even the punk scene because there's so many scenes and it's so big but so fractured and put into all these genres. Where do I start?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I still like stuff that's musically powerful and it rocks, but I like it if there's something different about it, and hopefully something a little sick and demented. Those are my favorite kinds of things. And they're harder and harder to find, but they're out there.
And what about the label, actually, Alternative Tentacles?
Well, I noticed there's none of our releases in your store from what
I have some.
Look in the CDs, and there is our problem. I mean, we've never had very good distribution in France to begin with, but we try. And if you're ordering straight from Revolver, some work to do. But I also understand how hard it is to raise the money to put everything in the store and hope somebody buys it. I guess in a position of an independent store like this, you almost have to order each release based on what person you know might come in and buy it. And when you get flooded with hundreds of releases every week, people like us lose. So we're surviving, but it's very, very hard.
Yeah, I can imagine. And this is very hard for us too.
And a lot of people have, of course, quit doing some really good labels. GSL is gone. Touch and Go is almost gone.
Yeah, definitely.
Grand Royal, who I thought was a very rich label, they pulled the plug on that a few years ago. So it's a hard time. You do it because you want to do it, or you don't do it at all.
Of course. But
it has not just been hurt by file sharing, and yes, it hurts the independents the worst because we have the most to lose. But also, it's very tempting to want to file share when you don't have the money to buy anything, especially in America, where we are in a depression.
Yeah, we are in the depression too. So we are actually in the same situation.
It's interesting how all the hype coming out of what they put in America is, Greece is almost bankrupt, England and Spain and Italy will soon follow. Everybody has to be more like America and shit on the poor and cut everybody's services. And they never mention some of this is because the banks just decided all at once, let's gang up on Greece and demand all our loans back now. Today, which is like if the bank wants to steal your house and says we want the whole mortgage in next week or we'll kick you out just because we feel like it. And they're doing that to whole countries now just to take the money and run. I mean, people say, well, what do you do about this? It's simple, raise taxes on the rich. Then you'll get your services back. Something the Barack star is afraid to do, and I can't imagine Sarkozy being very interested in that either.
How does it work for the label? Do you have some big band to support the small one, or?
I mean, the big band was Dead Kennedys, but that was stolen when the other members of the band got very greedy when I didn't want to put Holiday in Cambodia in a TV commercial, and now they've taken everything away. I'm not allowed to see the books. They have a manager whose other main act is a Christian folk artist, and it's really, really ugly. And so, oh, let's put a version of Too Drunk to Fuck that somebody else did in a rape scene in a Tarantino movie. How Christian of them. It's just a very, very sick joke. And in my opinion, they've signed very bad contracts with very bad people. The exact kind of people East Bay Ray used to warn us to stay away from.
And how does it work in America for communication? Because we kind of see MTV like the big bad wolf and commercial and everything. Is it the same in America? Or
MTV is so stupid I don't even watch it. I never have. I mean, I don't pay that much attention to the big bad wolf. Even when I was 13 years old, I found a way to get away from listening to bad radio or paying attention to pop music, hoping to hear one good song. It was called the Secondhand Record Shop.
so you don't want to be
Where people liked the Eagles and Scientology jazz like Chick Corea, and so, who's this? MC5, 25 cents. This writer in the paper said they were almost as bad as Black Sabbath. I must take this. So, I just sort of cut myself off from the pop mainstream because I don't want to waste my time with it. I mean, people go, the punk scene died because Green Day got so big and now there's Good Charlotte and all that crap. Well, don't pay any attention to it if you don't like it. Support the local bands, support the local stores.
Yeah, true, but we can see some of Ipekek artists on MTV. It's the reason why I have to ask the question.
That on American MTV.
Maybe not.
Music videos on the American MTV.
Really?
It's Pimp My Ride and reality show.
Sweet.
Bozos and whatnot. So, I mean, I don't even see any point. The only good thing MTV ever did for me was Beavis and Butthead.
This sucks. Change it.
They're desperate enough now, they're bringing Beavis and Butthead back from what I've...
But you're still playing some Dead Kennedys song. Is it only for the public or is it because you really love those songs?
Well, I wrote most of them.
Yeah, I know, but...
Taking them back from corporate pirates. It was the Melvins who talked me into playing them. I wanted to play nothing but new stuff, and they said, we want to play some of these songs.
Okay.
So we did, and it worked out good, and some of them are still very theatrical to perform and things like that, so... it was good. That reminds me, how many people who are coming tonight will have seen us in Paris or in Bourg-en-Bresse last year? How many
don't
people
know.
do you think?
I don't know. Me?
Only a few.
A few, I think.
Because I have to think about that, because otherwise I need to change the set list so you don't hear the same thing again.
You're gonna have to change it for me.
Replaced. Replaced. Replaced.
I will not take all your time, but I wanted you to pick few of those records, and can you speak about them? Just
No, I mean, I might buy these, I don't know yet.
you pick few records you didn't know.
Yeah, I was trying to concentrate, like that's a French record from where is it, Montpellier or something? Yeah, there they are. That's an American record from 7 years ago I've never seen, but it was good, so I figured, well, I might as well get that. It's from Denmark. I guess that's the name of the band. Their information is very deep, but
They are from Marseille.
great lyrics. Oh, they're from Marseille, but they have a German name. Okay.
It's pretty fashion, actually.
There's the French language. Yeah, that's a Scandinavian band. I have another one of them. That was cool. Well, surf thing from France.
Yeah, sure.
There's a lot of those here. This one is more, breaks the mold a little more than this one does. So I don't know if I'm going to get that one or not. But that one's pretty cool. 60s comp. Have to archive that. Another one. This is Greek. It's another surfy one, but with the wrong guitar sound for surf, which makes it good in a way. French. Less pop punk than it looks, thankfully. Pop punk drove me into the arms of heavy metal. What can I say?
have to ask you this, but would you marry me? Please.
Probably not.
It's a shame.
Two now, number one. Number two, I have a girlfriend. Number three, I was married once years and years ago, and then that ended. So I'd be very cautious of doing that again.
But thanks a lot for doing this and for the gig tonight.
Guess if I married you, I'd finally learn some French. Support the local bands. Support the local stores. Where's is my CD in the store?
Everything is sold actually, except the
more.